Sweet. Believe it or not, I bought that ute cab out there for 2 parts, well 3 parts probably. Literally this section here, the roof, which needs a heap of repair, and the back wall. There are some recycled parts going to other people, so it's not a complete waste of a car, but it seems a bit ridiculous, doesn't it? Oh, sorry about that. I'm going to do the old masking tape trick, even though this isn't masking tape. So, this line here represents my factory door, that line I was telling you before. I'm just going to put a scribe line there because that is the factory door edge. Now I'm extending it 50 mil, so yeah, I've left enough there. That's good. So now I need to work out where to make this back fold. I'll make this back fold first, which will be this one here. So if I get a pen, you wouldn't want to use any tape that's stretchy because you'll get a false reading. So that door edge and back wall flange, so that is where I want to put my fold. We'll do that now. Because this is all parallel from edge to edge, I'll get that with my adjustable square and get that over here. And then I'll need to put it onto the other side, so transfer it. Now that won't be enough, but we've got that line there. We've got the break. That's the main thing. Ooh. Ooh. So what I'm doing here is just getting a bit more. When I've got this break in the brake press, I couldn't quite get enough with this part fouling as it came around. You would have seen. So I need to get basically these two. This needs to be parallel with this because this goes to your back wall, and this is running in line with your seals. So that's why it needs to be parallel. So I'm just sort of putting a bit of pressure on it. I've clamped a bit of flat bar in there first, and then a bit of RHS on top for the rigidity. The reason for the flat bar is because then I can get further in there. If I had my RHS sitting right against, I wouldn't be able to get any tilt. And if I didn't have the flat bar in there and just put the RHS back where it is, you'll get instead of a nice crisp line, you'll get this like rolled edge from behind. So that's my theory anyway. We'll give it a go and see if I've done the right thing. Ooh, that's good. I hope I haven't deformed my radius too much with that flat bar. doesn't look terrible. See what I mean? Now we have parallel, kind of. Enough to work with anyway. And we've still got a relatively nice corner there. Okay, so with my other top half clamped to a straight edge, I just had to do a bit of trimming to get my panel fitment. That's bloody beautiful if I don't say so myself. And I've marked my break point for this fold. Now, I'm adding 50 mil, as we've sort of come to a conclusion on. Adding 50 mil to the quarter, 100 mil to the door. So that break point there actually needs to be moved 50 mil up. It saves me replacing this whole strip, and then I'll split this down the guts and add 50 into that later. So shuffle that to the side. Now that I have that's the original break point, I'll put a 50 mil mark there. Just double check that that is 50 on the knocker. And because this whole panel is parallel, let's go fold that. Then we can probably start welding them in, I think. We'll fold them first. I wasn't super happy how it was a bit more of a rolled radius rather than a direct. It didn't match up 100%. It's not super critical on that back wall. But if I move this blade out a fraction more, it will tighten that up. So adjustment on the side of this moves all the dies forward and back. So you change it for material thickness. At the moment it's set to 1 mil panel steel, but it's probably a bit more like 1.5, I reckon. So that 1/2 mil, instead of being super tight with your fold when you fold your steel against the dies, if you, for instance, had a 5 mil gap there for 5 mil material and you fold 1 mil, it's going to give you a much rounder radius because it's folding 5 mil back. So with them loose, I am getting kind of fussy, but and we'll loosen that one and tighten that one. That's a bit better, I reckon. That will be a crispy fold. Now, this one will be 90 degrees, so we'll turn him on. Where I nearly went to the wrong line. That's pretty good. I'm going to fold this a fraction over. About 2 degrees over. That radius looks heaps nicer. Oh, damn, that's nice. Starting to resemble something pretty cool. All right, we're looking good. We're all set up here. Now I've clamped that to the bench, so the bench is flat. It's not in the middle actually. Like 10 mil plate, it's still got a bow in the middle, but edges are flat as a tack. So it's flat in 2 sections, in 2 axes, I guess you'd say. Now, I'm going to start here. These like perfection. I'm pretty happy with that panel fitment actually. By the time that comes up, gorgeous. And I have learned that panel fitment is key. So I'll rig this, sorry guys, rig the TIG up and buzz that, work around, what am I saying? Yeah, I'll work around that. So I'll start at this bottom edge and like the reason this one's sitting up at the moment is because that back flange, like I just folded, had to dolly this one to get it parallel. That's where I want it. I'll have to, once I've got this rolled over and tacked and it's all one piece, I'll have to do a similar thing to that back flange under here and dolly that parallel to this. Same with that one. I'll show you that in a second because that's exactly the problem. But we'll get this hooked up here somehow. There's good. This is what I'm saying. This, because that flange, and it's probably because when I unspot welded it, it's all deformed the panel to a degree. See how we're sitting out here? Like that wants to be pushed in like that, which means that opens that up, which is not what I want because it's levering on the back of this flange in here. So it's instead of a flange like that, when I go to push that around, it's sort of opening that up a bit. So I need to dolly this edge here and get them parallel to this seal. It's yeah, exactly like I did before. It's just a bit of a pain in the ass because it's not flat. You need to, yeah, whatever. So that's what I need to do to make that work nicely. But other than that, I'm pretty stoked with that that lower section. It's come up a treat. This one needs the same treatment, and then we can extend this 50 mil. Now I wanted to run through a few of the comments from episode 21, I reckon it was, about the proportions. So there was quite a few people that agreed with me. 100 in the door and 50, that's what I'm running with, by the way, is 100 mil extra in the door and 50 mil extra in the quarter panel. Now, there's a few comments in there about practicality over looks and appearance. I believe there's a fine line and you can get them both pretty well thereabouts in the ballpark of having a happy medium. There was a few comments about a blind spot, which is a valid point. And with that, even with that 50 mil, like because I'm planning to put Schulmann's in, they are a bit of a deeper seat. But I have had one sitting in there, as you saw on episode, I think it was at the start of 21 or 20. And I will drop a thanks to Timmy Westwood. I hope I got your surname right, mate. A lad from Tassie who've been just friendly over the socials for a while, a few years. He's starting a YouTube channel as well. Timmy has heart. Absolute top bloke. He has a chop GQ with a bit of a deeper space cab sort of. Sorry about that, battery went flat in the camera. So yeah, Timmy sent me a heap of photos through of his, I asked him, like, could you send me some photos of your side-on perspective of your vehicle with your front door open? And then I compared them to the shots that I showed you in that video with where the seat was sitting in relevance to trans tunnel and gear shifter, et cetera, and that was where it sold me. He has a bit of room in the back of his for, he said he even keeps his clothes, but he's got some recovery gear and whatever in there too. I think that's what he said. So I won't have that room. I'm happy to sacrifice no room behind the seats to get what I believe is this vehicle's proportions correct. Now, keeping into, and Timmy actually reminded me the fact that I actually shuffled everything back on the chassis, body mounts, and this is in a previous video, you're happy to check it out. Everything went back 175 mil, so engine mounts, body mounts, and that was all to get and this was the engineer's idea, which is, it's good to see an engineer actually cares about something other than the structural integrity of something. He was like, it's not going to look good. You're going to the extreme efforts of this vehicle build. Why have it not looking like it should? So the reason for moving everything back, like body, motor and trans, back on the chassis was because the wheel would not have sat, it would have sat over here more, like hacking into this guard. And you know, that's why we want to keep this, that's why I've gone with this vehicle, because I like the look of this old, and the nostalgia of an old vehicle. I don't want to destroy these lines. So there was a comment about the wheel not fitting properly in the guard. I've sort of mimicked it with how a G60 from factory looks, and literally the front of the tyre is basically at the front of the car. So that's where I've sort of mimicked it. If anything, it could have gone, I could have shuffled a bit more, but I was at the limits with steering box working. I'm already at the limits with you know, radiator and all that sort of clearance, because if that goes back, your steering box doesn't move. That needs to stay where it is on the chassis because it's a structural part of the car. So yeah, that's the reason for a few of the proportional things. There was a few comments about the fact that this has been extended, so extending that portion wouldn't be too bad, which I 100% agree with. Where I think I could have probably made a few, you know, maybe 30 or 40 mil up would be in this A-pillar section. Monumental, you're probably going to say, oh, look what you're doing anyway, but a fair bit of work has already gone into that, and a fair bit more work would have had to go, you'd have to redo it completely to make this wider and then actually have a fixed A-pillar. Because I've got a fixed roof, this hinge system isn't going to be operational, it's just there for the aesthetics. So that I sort of think that there could have been a bit put into the A-pillar, and then, you know, add 70 into the door, 30 A-pillar, 50 rear quarter. But we're moving forward, 100 in the door, 50 in the quarter, rear quarter, and in the front quarter, I've added, I think it was 85 mil. So proportion wise, I think I'm pretty well on the money. Also with the height, it's going to appear like it's got an extra 50 or 60 in the height too, because of the sill. From factory, that's where the G60 finishes, and like the sill threshold is sort of incorporated behind that. So I think we've expanded things in a good proportion. We'll find out when the car's finished and it's driving down the road. But yeah, that's probably an episode. I will add in here, I'll probably do a Q&A on the whole build so far in upcoming episodes. So if you've got any questions about the car, anything, me, my shed, any questions at all, drop them in the comments, and we'll do a Q&A if there's enough interest in it, and yeah, go from there. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you on episode 23. 23? Nah. I don't know, I'm confused. Maybe it's 24. Yeah, probably see you on 24. I really shouldn't put numbers in this. It really makes it confusing. Anyway, catch ya.